A new security guard named
Mike Schmidt
decides to work as a night guard.
During these nights, she hears training tapes phone guy had made a week earlier.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night. I actually worked in that office before you. I'm finishing up my last week now, as a matter of fact, so I know it can be a bit overwhelming, but I'm here to tell you there's nothing to worry about. You'll do fine. So let's just focus on getting you through your first week, okay? Let's see. First, there's an introductory greeting from the company that I'm supposed to read. It's kind of a legal thing, you know. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Upon discovering that damage or death has occurred, a missing person report will be filed within 90 days or as soon as property and premises have been thoroughly cleaned and bleached and the carpets have been replaced. Blah, blah, blah. Now, that might sound bad, I know, but there's really nothing to worry about. The animatronic characters here do get a bit quirky at night, but do I blame them? No. If I were forced to sing those same stupid songs for 20 years and I never got a bath, I'd probably be a bit irritable at night too. So remember, these characters hold a special place in the hearts of children and we need to show them a little respect, right? Okay. So just be aware, the characters do tend to wander a bit. They're left in some kind of free roaming mode at night. Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day, too. But then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know? Now, concerning your safety, the only real risk to you as a night watchman here, if any, is the fact that these characters, if they happen to see you after hours, probably won't recognize you as a person. They'll most likely see you as a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Now, since that's against the rules here at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they'll probably try to forcefully stuff you inside a Freddy Fazbear suit. Now, that wouldn't be so bad if the suits themselves weren't filled with cross beams, wires, and animatronic devices, especially around the facial area. So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death. The only parts of you that would likely see the light of day again would be your eyeballs and teeth when they pop out the front of the mask. Yeah, they don't tell you these things when you sign up. But hey, first station of the breeze. I'll chat with you tomorrow. Check those cameras and remember to close the doors only if absolutely necessary. Gotta conserve power. Alright, good night.
As you could hear, Fazbear Entertainment came up with a reason as to why the animatronics kill people at night, but this is most likely not why. The animatronics are haunted and restless.
Hello? Hello? Well, if you're hearing this and you made it to day 2, congrats. I won't talk quite as long this time since Freddy and his friends tend to become more active as the week progresses. It might be a good idea to peek at those cameras while I talk, just to make sure everyone's in their proper place, you know. Interestingly enough, Freddy himself doesn't come off stage very often. I've heard he becomes a lot more active in the dark, though, so hey, I guess that's one more reason not to run out of power, right? I also want to emphasize the importance of using your door lights. There are blind spots in your camera views, and those blind spots happen to be right outside your doors. So if you can't find something or someone on your cameras, be sure to check the door lights. You might only have a few seconds to react. Not that you would be in any danger, of course. I'm not implying that. Also, check on the curtain in Pirate Cove from time to time. The character in there seems unique in that he becomes more active if the cameras remain off for long periods of time. I guess he doesn't like being watched. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure you have everything under control. Talk to you soon. Hello. Hey, you're doing great. Most people don't last this long. I mean, you know, they usually move on to other things by now. I'm not implying that they died. That's not what I meant. Anyway, I better not take up too much of your time. Things start getting real tonight. Hey, listen, I had an idea. If you happen to get caught and want to avoid getting stuffed into a Freddy suit, try playing dead. You know, go limp. Then there's a chance that maybe they'll think that you're an empty costume instead. Then again, if they think you're an empty costume, they might try to stuff a metal skeleton into you. I wonder how that would work. Yeah, never mind. Scratch that. It's best just not to get caught. Okay, I'll leave you to it. See you on the flip side. Oh, hey, wow, day 4. I knew you could do it. Hey, listen, I may not be around to send you a message tomorrow. It's been a bad night here for me. I'm kind of glad that I recorded my messages for you when I did. Hey, do me a favor. Maybe sometime you could check inside those suits in the back room. I'm going to try to hold out until someone checks. Maybe it won't be so bad. Yeah, I always wondered what was in all those empty heads back there. You know. Oh
no. After that call, we never hear of Phone Guy ever again. He was stuffed into a suit and killed. The next night, we hear the garble of the haunted animatronics. After the 5th night, Mike Schmidt receives her paycheck and is considered a valued employee. It's probably unlikely that Freddy's has night guards that stay. After another night of work, Mike Schmidt gets another paycheck for overtime work and is considered Employee of the Month. Sometime after this, he works another night, but during this night, tampers with the animatronics. Next morning, she's fired. She noticed a newspaper while she had been working. Local pizzeria said to close by year's end. After a long struggle to stay in business after the tragic events that struck there many years ago, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced that it will close by year's end. Despite a year-long search for a buyer, companies seem unwilling to be associated with the company. These characters will live on. In the hearts of these kids, these characters will live on. CEO.
After the place closed down, William escapes from prison and enters to the abandoned location to obtain his spring Bonnie suit. When Shadow Freddy saw William, he became
enraged and tells the animatronics to attack him. But this proves to be useless, as William easily tears them to pieces. Unknowingly, she released the spirits of the dead children, and the spirit who usually appears as Golden Freddy joins them as they torment her. She hides in Spring Bonnie, thinking she knew everything she needed to know about this type of suit. But the roof was leaking, and cold winter rain was coming through. This moisture breaks the spring locks loose and crushes her like a garbage compactor. After this, Shadow Freddy was able to pass on, after seemingly ending the life of the one who killed him. But the other spirits were not able to. Instead, they remained with the puppet, still restless. Sometime after this, the owner of the building returned to remove the animatronics, and found them in pieces. Once the safe room was found to be torn open, it was boarded up again, for liability purposes, and the building was left again, this time for good. 30 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza closed its doors, the events that took place there have become nothing more than a rumor and a childhood memory. But the owners of Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction, are determined to revive the legend and make the experience as authentic as possible for patrons, going to great lengths to find anything that might have survived the decades of neglect and ruin. A night guard is hired for this horror attraction, someone we don't learn the name of.
Hey, glad you came back for another night. I promise it'll be a lot more interesting this time. We found some great new relics over the weekend, and we're out tracking down a new lead right now. So, let me just update you real quick, then you can get to work. Like, the attraction opens in like a week, so we have to make sure everything works and nothing catches on fire. When the place opens, people will come in at the opposite end of the building and work their way toward you, then past you and out the exit. Yeah, you've officially become part of the attraction. You'll be starring as the security guard. So not only will you be monitoring the people on the camera as they pass through, to make sure no one steals anything or makes out in the corner, but you'll also be a part of the show. It'll make it feel really authentic, I think. Now let me tell you about what's new. We found another set of drawings, always nice, and a foxy head, which we think could be authentic. Then again, it might just be another crappy cosplay. And we found a desk fan, very old school, metal though. So watch the fingers. Right now the place is basically just, flashing lights and spooky props. I honestly thought we'd have more by now. If we don't have something really cool by next week, then we may have to suit you up in a furry suit and make you walk around saying, boo. But, like I said, we're trying to track down a good lead right now. Some guy who helped design one of the buildings says it was like an extra room that got boarded up, or something like that. So we're going to take a peek and see what we can find. For now, just get comfortable with the new setup. You can check the security cameras over to your right with the click of that blue button. You can toggle between the hall cams and the vent cams. Then over to your far left, you can flip up your maintenance panel. Use this to reboot any systems that may go offline. In trying to make the place feel vintage, we may have overdone it a bit. Some of this equipment is barely functional. Yeah, I wasn't joking about the fire. That's a real risk. The most important thing you want to watch for is the ventilation. Look, this place will give you the spooks, man, and if you let that ventilation go offline, then you'll start seeing some crazy stuff, man. Keep that air flowing. Okay, keep an eye on things, and we'll try to have something new for you tomorrow night.
As the recording mentioned, one of the people running the attraction is going to check out a room that got boarded up. The one he opens is the one that had the broken spring suit, now known as Springtrap.
Hey man, okay, I have some awesome news for you. First of all, we found some vintage audio training cassettes. Dude, these are like prehistoric. I think they were like training tapes for like other employees or something like that. So I thought we could like have them playing like over the speakers as people walk through the attraction. Dude, that makes us feel legit, man. But I have an even better surprise for you. And you're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one. Gotta go, man. Well, look, it's in there somewhere. I'm sure you'll see it. Okay, I'll leave you with some of this great audio that I found. Talk to you later, man.
That's the last we hear of Phone Dude. He mentions finding a real one, in which he means a real animatronic, being Springtrap. He suddenly finishes up his call, sounding rushed. It's impossible to really know what happened to him, and why he never calls back. But it's very likely that he was killed when William Afton was attempting to escape. Springtrap tries to get into the security guard's office to kill the guard and escape the building. Meanwhile, the puppet has returned. She hates the idea of Freddy's being revived, even in this completely different form. To her, the place was like a morgue. There was only one thing she wanted to do: burn it down. She gave the night guard horrible hallucinations in order to scare him away. After a few nights, she manages to burn the place down, also destroying her puppet body in the fire. After burning in the fire, the puppet is finally at peace. Freddy's was gone, and gone forever. No more pain can come to the children. She goes to them and helps them pass on. In doing this, the puppet passes on as well. The other minigames seen in FNaF 3 show the passing of the other restless spirits we've seen. In Mangle's quest, Mangle recollects herself and goes past the puppet who trapped the spirit, finally passing on. Same as in Stage 01, the child who had died at Fredbear's family diner moved on. Through this minigame, we could see the passing of Shadow Bonnie, the employee that was murdered by William. The pain and suffering of the children was finally over.
I believe the other two spirits are Phone Guy and Henry. And I think that the older brother was a security guard from FNaF 3 to stop William once and for all.
Thank you all so much for watching this series. As you can tell, I've put tons of work into this. I just have so much respect for the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. Even if the love for FNaF fades in the community and it becomes more of a past trend, it'll always have a special place in my heart. I hope you all have a wonderful night. You guys always make me happy, and I hope I can do the same. Good night, everyone!